All right, so today is the day. Today I'm launching my first app. So this is what I've been working on for the past year. I worked in corporate, I was a senior data scientist, and for the past year, I've been an AI consultant and helping small businesses use AI better. And also with that, creating content, I do short form, long form, and a newsletter. And the problem that I kept running into is that businesses and knowledge workers in general just don't have enough detailed documentation in order for their AI to properly automate their work. So Edessa.ai is now live. It's the first app that I've ever built, and I've been spending nearly the last year building it. So go ahead and try it. Here I'll just give all my updates on my strategy for building the app, how I'm going to grow the app and get users. My first goal is getting 300 users, so I'll keep you posted. And make sure you subscribe and follow along if you want to see my updates and my progress in trying to build this app. And the rest of this video is actually just the video that I sent my beta cohort on how to use the app. So if you want to stick around, it's just a quick demo on how the app actually works. That's it for this one. If you try it, please let me know what you think. I really want to make the app a great product. So let me know all your positive and negative feedback. And I appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, thank you for testing out Edessa. I just want to do a quick walkthrough. So what is Edessa? And then I'm going to show you the tool, me actually using it to document a workflow. You work and Edessa documents it. And there's basically 4 steps. And it's really simple. You just record what you're doing. You're going to speak through what you're doing as you record yourself. Then it's going to pick up on any gaps in your explanation and see if you need some more information. And then it's going to deliver you a professional looking guide that you can use and share with people. And then also a skill file, which is what AI agents use to run your work. A big problem in AI is that there's not enough documentation. So this tool basically allows you to, at a cheap cost, be able to create really great documentation for AI and for your teammates. Your edge is the expertise only you have. Capturing it used to take an expert in hours, but now Edessa does it automatically as you work. A lot of this information existed across a bunch of different apps, and that makes it difficult for AI to actually make sense of how you work and automate your work. So once we bring it all into one place, it's much easier for AI tools like Claude or ChatGPT to use. And the 3 main ways to use Edessa are first, just documenting how you work so you can be consistent every time you do something, sharing it and scaling the best ways of working across a team so you can have teams in an organization, then giving all these AI tools the context that they're missing to do your work really well. All right, once you log into Edessa, you're just going to go ahead and click new here. And there's different ways to start a new workflow. The record option is my favorite. You're going to want to leave on voice transcription. It's just going to make more accurate documentation if it can incorporate your voice into what you're actually clicking on. That provides the reasoning behind your actions. So you're going to hit start capture, also share system audio. Then you're going to click share and just complete a task and talk through it naturally as you would, and then hit stop recording whenever you're done. For example, let's say I wanted to check if I had any messages in my community. I'm going to go to school.com. I'm going to chat on the right, and my community and I'm going to hit stop here. Then as soon as you hit stop, it's going to be processing your recording. It's going to analyze what task you were doing. It's going to generate a description of the task. It's going to choose the correct screenshots for that workflow. Then when it's done processing, you can see you have a workflow guide here. You can actually watch the full video here if you want. You just click that, and then it labels each step. So it detects what each step was, and then the correct screenshot. What exactly you typed, what exactly you clicked on, even highlights different key terms. So now you have this anytime you need to run the workflow. And then if you need to share it with anyone, you can just hit the share. You can publish it and get a public URL, or you can add people to your organization by going to organization settings or inviting teammates here. Eventually, you could build out your workflow library for your entire team across these different workspaces. And here's the part that allows AI agents to read this really well. If you do this AI gap analysis here, it'll analyze the entire workflow and then figure out what's missing. So when you clicked on a resource, do you need to include that link? It may verify if you use any templates or you want any web addresses. AI is going to need to know exactly where you're pulling information from. So when reviewing chat messages, how did you tell that a message was from someone in your community versus a different community? These are all things that if you were trying to teach a new teammate, they would have these same questions. So this AI analysis is really key before this next step, which is how to get this into your favorite AI tools like ChatGPT or Claude. Once you do that analysis, the workflow is going to improve, and then you're going to hit share. here. You can export this as a PDF, which will look great, of course, if you're sending it to people. But if you want to share this with AI, you're going to hit export and then you're going to hit skill. A skill is basically like an SOP, but specifically for AI. So you're going to see in a second that it's much more detailed than what you would normally give a human teammate. But this is the standard file format that AI tools like Claude, ChatGPT, or Gemini need to properly automate your work. So if we just open this up, there's a skill here that shows exactly what this workflow was. It pulls all this information automatically, details out the workflow, and then it tells the AI agent exactly when to use certain screenshots. For this step here, that's when you're going to reference screenshot number 1. This is how you give your AI agents enough context to really do your work, especially now that AI tools can control your computer and then also control your browser. And then the way to get this into your AI tool is, which is different for every AI tool, but for Claude, is first to go to customize in the left-hand menu, and then you're going to go to add, but you're just going to drag in this entire zip folder. All right, and there it is, how to check for new leads daily. Of course, you can just click on the skill and feel free to edit, rename it to whatever you want. Let's go ahead and see how this works. This is my team operating system, by the way. This is where I get my work done. So I can just hit slash and say how. There we go. Or Claude actually knows when to do this. So if I just say check for new leads, it'll also activate. So I don't actually have to type the skill out. So let's try that out. Check for new leads across the business. Accessing the skill, check for new leads daily. It's tapping into the exact tools. And there we go. Slowly, you can just keep building out your workflow library. Across your workflows, if you start to reference the same context files or databases, you can just save those as a knowledge base here. I'm now just starting to add the different marketing-related databases and resources I have here, like my visual reference library or my audience voice bank. So then across your workflows, you can be referencing the same resources, which will automatically give your AI agent the correct links and files so that they can also reference them.